I was looking at the blessings earlier. I was talking to someone about blessings. Let's just look into the new blessings real quick. The new blessings are from Sandbag to Lightning. Okay, so let's talk about this for a quick while. Sandbag, Jinwoo's attack will decrease by 10% for 120 seconds or 2 minutes. Then his attack increases by 40% for another 2 minutes. I mean, I guess it could be usable because you're just nerfing yourself by 10%, but even then, that's 10%. And that's 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes of you having less than 10% attack. You don't really want to stay in a fight for more than 2 minutes, or else you're not doing something, or else you're doing something wrong. But if you're lacking in DPS, just a little bit, maybe like if you're like doing Workshop of Brilliant Light and you're missing that 10% HP bar and you're getting timed out, maybe this is something that you can look into using, because you will get that last minute. Because I think there's only like 3 minutes or 4 minutes per workshop. I think I never really cared about the time. I just do it. But yeah, for the last minute or two, or last minute, whatever, how long it is, you get a boost of 40%. Technically 30%, because you were nerfed 10% anyway. It could push you through, but let's go to a more realistic buff, which is the non-transcendent version. That is 130 seconds. So that's 10 seconds off, or 10 seconds more. Harder to justify. And then a heroic is 150 seconds. That's not worth it. That's not gonna be worth it at all. Crushing attack, damage of Jinwoo skills with a break effect increases by 40%. So if I'm not, because there's 2 break effects, this one and yeah, this one. If I'm not mistaken with my understanding, this means you deal more damage with your break skills. You will also deal more damage to the break bar, which is good because you'd want to remove the break bar, especially on endgame bosses. So this can be, though, if your boss has a recurring bar, I think Pulverize is still better, because their break effects increase by 36%, and then you deal damage to target affected by break effect by 36%. So when they break for, I don't know, for 10 seconds, you deal 36% increased damage. You know, still better. Then if we go to a more realistic buff, crushing attack here, 35% from, how much was it again? 40. So that's 5% off. It's not really that bad. That's still a little bit useful compared to, where's Pulverize? 30. 30. Yeah, that's not too bad. That can be useful, especially if you don't have Pulverize and you happen to get crushing attack by any chance. And then Irresistible Force, 8% for 6 seconds. Whenever you use a break effect or a skill with a break effect, his attack increases by 8% for 6 seconds. You don't really like bring a lot of break skills, and that's only 8%. It stacks up to 3 times, sure. So what are you going to be bringing? Your main skill, your second skill, your QTEs, and then maybe a weapon with break skill like the fan. And this is only for 6 seconds. And then your skill cooldowns are like what, 15 to 20 seconds? Technically you can cycle through it properly. If you cycle through it properly, you'll have permanent. No. You just have to use a skill with break effect for this to work, for this to stack. Oh, are you referring to the other one? Because YouTube chat is delayed. Yeah, YouTube chat is delayed. But yeah, the other skill, crushing attack. This is damage, so it's also gonna increase your skill damage, your damage to the HP bar, so it's still not that bad. It's still not that bad. I can test it later. We can test this later. If this if this affects both the skill bar and the break bar and the HP bar. Irresistible force? No, it still works. It still works because you only need to use a skill with a break effect. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to deal damage to the break bar. But yeah, it's 6 seconds and you have to keep cycling through it. And realistically, you don't really bring 5 skills. We can test this out later too. But yeah, realistically, you don't really bring 5 skills without break skill. Or with break skill, rather. At least not every time. It's mostly 1 break skill. That's my camera. 1 break skill. Maybe 1 from your QTE. If you're using fan bow, or if you're using what you call this? What is that weapon again? That gun? That light gun? Maybe you can get 3. But how will you cycle it properly? You need to bring 5. Or at least 4. Cycle this properly. And even then, it's like, you know, hard to cycle through. And if you go to a more realistic buff, it's 7% for 6 seconds. It's still the same duration. It's just 1% off. Not really that good. Just read stack after the break bar is gone. I think it still stacks. Where's greed? Greed. Because this only this says with an attack that deals break damage. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to break the target. It just needs to deal break damage. Like this. It deals break damage. It deals weak break damage. It still deals break damage, but you know. If it's break effect, then 1 skill like dispersion will hit break 3 times. It depends. If the opponent is within range on the 3 hits of dispersion, then it's probably gonna hit 3 times. But it depends on how they code it. If they code it like the animation is just like a one hit anyway, yeah. We're gonna test things out later. Just remind me of the things and then we're gonna try it. First, Strike Barrage. Upon landing a hit 35 times, Jinwoo's attack increases by 2.25%, stacks up to 10 times. This could be good if the buff doesn't expire. We're gonna test this out later, but this feels like it's only good when it's transcendent. Let's check the version, legendary version. It's 40 times. It's not that bad. 40 times is still doable, but it's only 2%. Still doable. What's the 45 black box? Which one? Oh, this one? This one was part of... What was that thing? Monthly bundle back then. It is... They have since removed it from the monthly bundle, but it was part of the monthly bundle back then. It's just there because it's just a reminder of what we lost. Never gonna use it. Ravenous Instinct. Oh, these are the defensive ones. When Jinwoo's current MP is at 60% or below, their defense increases by 50%. It's not really that good. Most of the defensive blessing stones the new defensive blessing stones are not really that good, but they have their niche. The reason being, Jinwoo does not really scale with defense, so there's no reason to bring this. Just like how there's no reason for Jinwoo to use most of the new cores. So yeah, but this can work. Let's go to legendary. It's at least legendary is a little bit, something a little bit obtainable. 42%. It's still 60%. I don't know. It doesn't feel as good. No, no, no. The thing is, there is stream delay on YouTube, so there's probably like a 1 minute or 30-second stream delay on YouTube, which I can't do anything about. That's why the chat is delayed as well. It's not that the chat is coming up delayed to me, it's the stream delay. So your chat, your reply to whatever I say may be delayed because of the stream delay. Oh, it's just 10 seconds, so it's not that bad then. It's still a lot. I easily forget things. So even 10 seconds is a lot for me. Alright. Best defense is a good offense. This is basically just the same as a blessing. Or the core. This blessing is basically just the same as a core. If you really want to, you can use this core instead. It's basically the same. Of course, you're gonna look for the Jinwoo core instead. The Jinwoo version of the core. But you don't really bring that. You don't really use that for Jinwoo. Oh, I thought there was something filters. Yeah, you don't really use that for Jinwoo, so there's also no reason for you to use this. Because you also barely use ult on Jinwoo. How many times are you gonna use ult in a single boss fight? Probably 3 times. And that 35%, even if it's transcendent, that 35%, if you have a transcendent blessing stone, if you have this as a transcendent blessing stone, you either wasted your selector, or you're a whale, or not a whale. You're an endgame player, probably a whale too. But yeah, you're probably an endgame player, and at the endgame, 35% shield doesn't really do much. Because if you get hit by a boss in Workshop of Brilliant Light, 35% shield is gone. 15 seconds doesn't matter. So this is basically useless. It can be useful on newer players, but not the Transcendent version. Legendary is still 30%. If you go Heroic, I do have it around 20%. It can be useful if you're really, really having a hard time and you don't have any better what you call this? Defensive blessing stone, survivability. But for me, now let's talk about what I normally pick later. Irreversible Road. Jinwoo's defense increases by 4%. If Jinwoo equips weapons are of the same element, his defense increases by an additional 24%. This is good, but where do you really use this? Especially this second buff. Where do you really use this? I guess if you're doing dungeons, if you're having a hard time doing dungeons, and you're using the same element reinforced weapon with the same element. This could work if you're really scared of, let's say, Igris. Igris can swipe you off from afar. 20% on legendary. On heroic, 12%. That's sad. It's a little bit sad. It sounds like it's not worth it at all. And then Swift Restoration. This is just increasing your base recovery rate. So it's not that good. But this can be paired with my favorite blessing stones. It can actually be paired by my with my favorite blessing stones. 25% increase recovery rate, and then you gain an additional 4.5%. Or if you go to legendary, 22 and 4%. If you go to heroic, 16 and 3%. That's not too bad. And then we'll get back to my favorite blessing stones because there's a last one. Lightning speed. Your attack stat increases by 7 for every agility point. One agility point applied, up to a maximum boost of 1540 attack stat, which is not really useful unless you're doing Battlefield of Time, just like Intuit. It's not useful unless you're doing Battlefield of Time, mainly because Intuit and probably Lightning Speed 2, most likely Lightning Speed 2, their boosts are calculated post damage. Is it a post calculation damage? Is that how you say it? Post calculated attack. So, you know, it's just free attack stat. It's kind of good. But again, it's only useful if you have legendary, and again, it's only for Battlefield of Time, so you never want to pick it. You never want to pick it. Okay, so my favorite blessing stones for defense, survivability, are these three. This one can change whenever I want to. Daily quest is just, you know, it's just there. If I mess up, I have a revive. I still heavily mess up sometimes, so this is a really good run saver, especially if you're like doing Workshop of Brilliant Light and then, oh, everything was going so good, and then on the last few HP bar, you mess up and then you die. This could save you. And then what I was talking about earlier is this Swift Restoration, because I always bring HP Extraction and Camouflage whenever I can, and both of these can proc at the same time. HP Extraction, you will recover 2% of your HP when defeating an enemy. You will recover 6% when hitting elite or higher monsters. So if you're doing Workshop, you don't really proc percent that much, but you still proc 6% every 30 seconds. And then when you receive damage with Camouflage exceeding 5% of your max HP, your Camouflage for 3 seconds, and then you recover 5% of your HP every 1 second. So you get 15% HP recovery. That's good. And then if you pair it with Swift Restoration, both of them will gain additional 2%. Well, not really both of them, but you also gain an additional 2% every time they proc. Well, at least when Swift Restoration is on cooldown. But also you gain increased HP recovery rate. So the 6% and the 2% also goes up by a little bit more. And if you have a higher restoration, you have a higher recovery rate and a bonus heal. So that's good. At least for me, that's good. But it's also not a blessing stone that you would want to pick if you have a blessing stone selector. Don't waste your blessing stone selector. If you're like me, who still has not used your transcendent blessing stone selector, or in the future you have a blessing stone selector, unless the meta changes, the best thing still to get is reawakening, followed by pulverize, and then maybe boss slayer. Weakness detection can probably be replaced by a first strike barrage, not a rare quality. It should be a legendary too. Weakness detection can be replaced. Let's go here. By a legendary first strike barrage. Most, because we're not gonna waste 60 hits just for a 1% attack increase. That's why rare is worthless. But if you have legendary, it's only 40 hits and you get like 2%. Right? Yeah, 40 hits and that's 2%. So that's not too bad. Okay? Not that bad. And yeah, now we're gonna be testing them. Where are we gonna test them? Oh, where the hell is this shit? Battlefield of Trials. This is the easiest place to test things. Just trying to look for a place where there's no mobs. Which one has no mobs? A single boss with no mobs. Let's try this one. This one has no break bar. So what we're gonna be testing here, this one. Let's try removing all my offensive blessing stone, and I'm just gonna bring this one. And then for my skills, let's bring a one-hit break. I don't want to use a multi-hit break because that's harder to judge. What is a one-hit break? I guess this one. Yeah, crushing blow. Go with the crushing blow. Multiple crushing blows. Let's just bring one crushing blow. And then for the weapon, actually gonna bring that one just to see if it also affects Storm Beam. bring anyone. Just to make sure that we have less room for variables. I'm just gonna do one-to-one testing. I'm not gonna do like 10 tests. It's around 122k. I didn't see Hulk out. 80k. Ow. 80k. So it only went to 122k because I was able to counter. Okay. Okay. Ow. Oh, that missed. 144k because that was a counter. Now, let's remove it. Oh my god, what floor was that? Oh, why do you have to go back so far? It was this one, floor 50. Now let's remove the blessing stone. Is it gonna change my skill? I wanna check the damage first. Oh, I didn't see. Still 80k. It was just a counter, so it was a double hit. You need a not counter. Yeah, it's still 80k. $97k. So that's a higher roll. $79k, but it was not a crit. $74. It's less consistent. Because earlier we never went down to 70. Though I also never saw a high roll except with a crit. A crit and a counter. So it does affect. It does affect it. Fall and drag floors, no, it's bad on my end because I have a secondary monitor. And I need to see the floor. Yeah. Now we go back to Rogue. And then check. What was that again? Irresistible force. Here, I want to see if using a weapon skill can proc irresistible force, and if a multi-hit break skill will proc multi stacks. Oh, it doesn't even show the stacks with the buff. That sucks. Alright, there you go. Oh, that's the buff. The buff is the small one here. The small attack buff. I thought it will show as an icon. Okay, okay. Ow. Okay, so every skill still only counts as one, even if it's a multi-hit. Okay, okay. So it works even without a break bar. So it can work when you're doing like workshop stuff, which is good because you know workshop stuff doesn't really always have break bar, but you still get the stacking buff anyway. So that's around, if you have transcendent though, it's around 24. 24% if you have 3 stacks, but again, it's only 6 seconds. And while I had 3, I only had 3, break skills, and I was able to kind of juggle it. It was not as hard to juggle as I thought. And, I forgot what I was saying. If you're really into using it, you would rather bring the QTE as an additional break skill. Double QTEs with additional break skill. Oh, two. 1 normal skill and then 2 QTE. This guy has a break bar, right? He has a shield. Okay. You don't really need to test this on someone with a shield or with a break bar, because what we wanted to know about this is if it works if your target has no break bar. Which it does. It does work. So now let's see how much this is gonna affect it. Ah, yeah, there's minions. No, get out of here. I don't need minions. Minions are a waste of time. One has no minions. I just want boss fight. Does this guy have no minions? Sorry. Okay, he has no minions. What? He has no more break bar. Get out of here. He just bonked himself and he lost his break bar. I guess you. No, you don't have a break bar initially. Spider? Amy Spider? Oh no, we're gonna go with the spider because the spider has no mobs. Ah shit! I got it. No, there's mobs. Get out of here. Oh, the spider has mobs. We're not gonna do that. I need no mobs so I can easily see the numbers. Is this caustic guy with no mobs? Tell me you have no mobs. Oh. Don't have time to deal with mobs. I'm just testing. This is why there should be a testing dummy. But I get why devs don't want testing dummies is because people will be able to easily min-max calculate things. But it's just so convenient to have a testing dummy. Instead of having to look for a boss or a fight that. No, let's go to the challenge instead. Pretty sure. Yeah, you have no. You have no break bar. I don't have break bar. You have no minions. I am sure. Even though I hate you. I hate this boss. Oh my god, stop moving. Okay. Ow, my neck. If we remove their crushing attack, what happens? Okay, that's significant. Because that's half HP bar or HP bar break bar. Whereas when I had the blessing, that was like 1/3. Or yeah, 1/3 left. Or maybe that was just a crit. I don't know. Let's put it back. Let's put it back. Because my main problem here is I'm getting curse and beast stacks. So my skills are definitely dealing a little bit more damage. So that wasn't a crit. Okay. Alright. That helps a bit. That does help a bit. Not a lot because this is just what you call this? This is just a heroic blessing. So 25% you don't feel it that much. Oh yeah, what I wanted to test them with irresistible force is pretty sure it won't, but with basic attack and or attack from a weapon with break damage count towards the stack, because if it does, then it's huge. Oh my god, I just got hit. No, it just counts as one. I already confirmed it earlier, it just counts as one, even the multi-hit skills. Oh! Wait! Oh! You can have perma stack with a break weapon. I am not using. See, it's disappeared. It's disappeared, and then I'm gonna shoot him. I'm gonna shoot him. Every 3 hits. So I guess it's every like half cycle, and then the core attack. You get the stack of irresistible force. So that's good. That's good to know. Multi-hit break skills does not work, but break weapons basic attack works. The only problem is you don't really use Huntsman anywhere. You don't really use Huntsman. No one uses Huntsman. Except if you're fighting. Who's that guy again? Okay, I see you, man. Thanks for hanging out. Who's that guy again? You never really use Huntsman unless you're fighting Aberg in normal, which one are this? Normal Encore dungeon. That's the only time he is weak to fire and light. And with the fan, there's less reason for you to use Huntsman because you can just go fire. Destroy him. The only difference with the fan is that basic attack and core attack does not trigger core. There's no break attack. They don't have break attack. Yeah, their basic skills don't have break attack. Only Huntsman has the break. Wait, it also does not have. Oh, this one, the core attack was a break damage. Oh. And also the skill. The skill, of course, has a break damage. The only time this fan has a core damage here is when it's, or the what is Fire Flower has break damage is when it's you have a max core gauge. The core gauge, your core attack changes. Beating Youth and Beauty still. Yeah. Only this one changes. So you don't really profit that much. Here, with a Huntsman, that's the only good thing. Is you can profit with core. So that's a good thing to know. If there's any other break weapons in the future, maybe it can be useful. Maybe Irresistible Force can be useful. A little bit more useful. But other than that, yeah, not a lot. Not two or still, I guess crushing attack. I guess crushing attack can this transcendent person can be better than pulverize in certain scenarios because it is a permanent buff compared to pulverize where this one is break effects increases but also the damage buff is only during break effect. This one is even outside break effect or even outside yeah, outside the enemy break state, you still get the 40% damage increase. So that's good. That's good. It just depends on whether how much you can combo. If you're not able to reliably combo during the enemy's break state, maybe crushing attack is better for you than pulverize. But if you're doing things like Power of Destruction, pulverize would still be better because there's multiple break states in the span of like a few minutes. If you can pull it off. Yeah. If there's multiple break states in the span of a few minutes, pulverize would still be better. And then Irresistible Force. I don't know. It's a little bit hard to. It's a little bit hard. A little bit hard to justify Irresistible Force. Even if you don't have a break weapon, it's still a little bit hard to justify. But yeah. First Strike Barrage. Again, it will only be good if you have Legendary. Force Transcendent, because that's 35 hits. So just to test, let's see how hard or easy it is to act. I'm gonna put on my other Blessing Stone. Doesn't matter. Reawakening would be good. I'm gonna put First Strike Barrage, but we'll just bring a multi-hit moves. Dagger Rush is a multi-hit move. And Mutilate is also a multi-hit move. I wonder if there's a proper counter. Let's see. Also, if there's a duration. Oh, my skill missed though. There's this other stack. Oh, it's not that hard to. It's not that hard to stack. What? Again? That is if you have multi-hit moves. If you're just doing like basic skills or stuff like that, it's not gonna be easy to stack. Oh, I missed. The good thing is it doesn't expire. Even if I run away from this guy. For so long, it doesn't expire. So, not that bad. But it would still be better to have a higher tier First Strike Barrage first. Again, at least Legendary. Because 1% doesn't really matter. 10%. After that, what's gonna happen? Nothing. Nothing's gonna happen. I guess it's a good thing to bring if the enemy has no weakness. Because there's enemies with no elemental weakness, you can swap to First Strike Barrage. If you have, again, at least Legendary. That's just how it is. Heroic, let's check Heroic. That's 1.5, 50 times. You'll be able to stack it a little bit faster. Just like 15%. You don't really feel it that much, but let's see. This detection here, how much is detection? 12%. If you have Heroic, maybe it's better. It's better than Heroic Weakness Detection. No, this is attack. And this is damage. Damage dealt. So it depends. Oh, yeah. Your attack increases, so it's not that bad. But it only stacks up to 10 times. Again. There's a limit. And this one is a permanent. But it depends on how things go. If you're able to stack things fast, then maybe
First Strike Barrage is better. And again, if you have the higher rarity you have, the faster you stack, and the earlier you can get the buff. That's 22.5% on Transcendent. That's a lot. On Legendary, that's 20%. Yep. Not true. Yeah. Not that bad. It's not that bad. It is doable. It is usable in certain cases. Sadly, there's no more power of destruction with no element weakness. So there's one less reason to bring that. But again, there are areas where there's no elemental weakness. Like some Battlefield of Trials have no elemental weakness. This guy has no elemental weakness, so it's better to bring that. And then this one, see? Has no elemental weakness, so it would be better to bring that one instead of elemental. Better to bring. Hold on a second. First Strike Barrage than weakness detection. I don't know why I have weakness detection here. I'm too lazy to swap it out to something else. Even while I was doing this one, but yeah. It would be better to swap it out against enemies with no weakness and swap in something else. Maybe Sandbag can actually work though. In that case, if you really don't have anything good, but you can have like Bloodlust, double-edged sword. Double-edged sword, you just have to dodge properly. If you're not that good at dodging, but you can also heal properly, you can go with Blood. You can also bring Conquer Adversity because it's every time your HP decreases by 25%. So you get a total of 15% buff. Even if you can go back up to 100% HP. Because it just says every time your HP decreases, so if you go 75% HP and then you go up and then you go back down, you just keep on stacking it until max stack. Not that bad of a buff. And it's a permanent buff too. Technically, it's easier to stack than First Strike Barrage if you really need it. And if you don't really have any other, blessing. And then there's Boss Slayer too. Of course, if you're fighting bosses. And then there's also Advanced Dagger. But this is, increased damage dealt at a certain percent HP of the boss. Or the target. Yeah. There's a little bit easier to use blessings, but it all depends on what you have and what the situation is. Don't be like me who brings weakness detection against enemies with no weakness. Of course, that's dumb. But yeah. That should be it for the blessings rundown. Well, not really rundown, but my thoughts about the blessings, new blessings.